Pac-10 Sports Talk, Week 14 of the NCAA football season. We're going to do some national predictions. We always have a lot of fun doing this. We're going to start off with Illinois going to play Fresno. Joel, what's this game? What's going to happen?
Well, I think Fresno State, I don't think they're going to be overwhelmed as far as the Illinois offense. I think they faced, earlier in the year, they faced an offense that's very similar in Nevada, a team that likes to spread it out, a team that has a rushing quarterback that Illinois does. In fact, Illinois' quarterback has rushed, Shellhouse has already rushed for 850 yards. But the only difference between this Illinois team and Nevada is this is a much more physical team on both sides of the ball. And if you look at Illinois, this is a good team. Illinois, they have, although they're 7-5, 3 of their losses have come to top 10 teams. So I mean, this is not a shabby team. When it's all said and done, Fresno State does not play especially well on the rush defense. I think that Illinois is able to rush it. They're able to keep the possession of the clock, and I see them winning 30-21.
Boy, what an exciting game this was last year. Now, last year they played at Illinois, and Fresno State came into town and pulled out a 53-52 win. Really exciting game. It's a big win for Fresno State coming in and beating a Big Ten school. But this year, things have changed. Illinois was 3-9 last year. They're not that weak sister this year. They've got a lot more talent on the team. You know, the two teams have traded battering rams. You know, last year the Bulldogs had Ryan, I think his name is Ryan Matthews, had 1,808 yards rushing, just a load. But he's gone this year. And Illinois, meanwhile, has Mikel LaShore, and he's punished defenses for like 1,300 plus yards per game. So I'm going to take a very improved Illinois team, 41-34.
Okay, so not the little sister anymore, but more the big brother in your prediction. I think Illinois is just going to kind of shut out Fresno. I think we're going to go 24-14.
Nice.
Yeah. So next game we want to talk about is Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Gosh, what a great game. Jack, how do you see this going?
You know, if you watch Big East football, have you ever noticed how little scoring takes place in that league? They don't score in that league. They're the lowest scoring conference in America. The top scoring team in the conference, Cincinnati, scores at a 28.6 points per game average. And if you put that in perspective, that would rank 10th in the SEC. That would rank 7th in the Big Ten and 6th in the Pac-10. However, someone will score in this game, and I think Pitt will score more points than Cincinnati. And I'm going to pick Pitt 3, Cincinnati 2.
Cincinnati?
No, not 3-2. I'm sorry. 27-25, Pitt.
Okay. You know, Cincinnati's lost 4 of their last 5, 3 of them badly. It's hard to believe that this Cincinnati team is the same team earlier in the year that almost knocked off Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But you know, I do like Cincinnati's offense in this. I think they will be I think they will put up some points against Pitt. But ultimately, I do like Pitt's rushing offense. I do like Graham and Lewis, and I think similar why I like Illinois. I think that ground control is what wins them the ball game. Close one though, 24-20 though, Pitt.
So you agree with me? Huh?
I do agree.
Okay. I think I agree with you too. I think Cincinnati's still going to move the ball, and I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I think it's going to be 28-21 Pittsburgh.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So Rutgers is going to go play West Virginia. West Virginia being the 23rd team in the nation right now. Joel, where's this going to go?
Well, I think, you know, Rutgers has lost 5 games. You know, a lot of college football is just about momentum. And when you've lost 5 games in a row, you've lost some confidence. Not only that, you're playing a West Virginia team that ranks 2nd or 5th in nationally as far as total defense. So I think you're just ramming into a wall there. And I think for West Virginia, I think that Noel Devine, who many had was a preseason All-American, who's only been averaging 77 yards a game. Yeah. I think this is his breakout game. I think there's going to be a lot of yards for him on the ground. I see this as a 40-17 whooping in West Virginia.
Wow.
You know, I just poked some fun at the Big East offense, but in fairness, they do play good defense in the Big East. They give up less points per team than anyone else in the nation. It's not even close. And among the Big East defenses, like Joel said, the Mountaineers are sitting on top of the hill, so to speak. They allow just 87 yards rushing per game. They only give up 168 yards passing. And on the other side of the ball, Rutgers, they don't pass the ball very well. And their ground game is 68 yards per game, and you really can't even call that rushing. That's more like lollygagging or something. Still, you know, I see Rutgers scoring in this one. I see them scoring. They did put up 10 points against the second-ranked defense in the Big East, and that was Syracuse. They put up 10 points against them, but I don't think it's going to be nearly enough. I got it 37-14, West Virginia.
See, I like your score, Jack, because I don't think Rutgers is going to have any superhero strength coming into this game. I really think they're probably going to get around 13 points, and then that's shut out. And West Virginia's going to take it with like 38, 36 points. So I'm actually going to go 36 for West Virginia on that one.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Consensus.
so consensus, yeah, I think we got West Virginia on that. We'll lock it down. Okay, so we got South Carolina. You know, they're the number 8th team in the nation right now, playing the number 1, Auburn, who just squeaked by Oregon last week. I mean, this is going to be an awesome game to watch. Jack, how's this going to go down?
Well, of course, this is for the SEC championship, and for Auburn, it's actually even more important than that. They're not actually going to go into the national championship game, of course, if they win. You know, the Tigers rushed for, they played each other earlier in the year, and Auburn won that game by 7 points, and the Tigers rushed for 334 yards in that game. So I think this time, Spurrier is going to try to stack the box just a little bit more, stop that running game, slow it down a little bit. But the bad thing about that, you have such a mobile quarterback in Cam Newton, he can elude those people up front and still hit the open man down the field. So that's a little dangerous to rush a guy like that. You know, I gotta say, the one thing I don't like about conference championships games is the fact that like situations like this where you got to play the other team twice. I just don't like that. I think once is enough. Once is tough enough. You know, last week I picked Auburn to win or to lose, and I've learned my lesson this week. So this week I'm going with Auburn to go ahead and play for the national title. Got Auburn 30, South Carolina 27.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who watched the game last week when they were getting killed by Alabama but came back, it's tough to go against Auburn. But I'm going to tell you why you do go against Auburn this week, though. First of all, you have to at least maintain, you have to be able to stop, to some degree, Auburn's offense. Now, typically when Auburn passes effectively, they get that rushing game going. I think you're going into a South Carolina team that ranks 5th nationally in rushing defense. I think they'll, not that you can totally stop Newton and that rushing attack, but I think they're going to be able to contain that, which I don't think he's going to be able to get that passing attack going. And then offensively for South Carolina, Auburn's proven that you can at least score a lot of points on them. And I think there's enough weapons for South Carolina, especially with Garcia, their quarterback, who in years past has been prone to big interceptions, big turnovers in big games. This year, he's done much better. You know, when they beat Alabama, for instance, he had one of his best games of the year. I see him repeating that. I see this in a squeaker, but I see South Carolina 30-27 on the upset.
Wow.
You know, Donovan, you need to set him straight.
You're going with South
Oregon,
Carolina.
get ready to play TCU.
I see Auburn still winning this game. I really do. I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good fight.
Right.
But I just think Cam Newton's too explosive, and he's going to be up for the pressure that coming in this game. And it's going to be 45-38.
Yeah, and one other thing, I just think it's tough to beat a team a second time as well.
That is tough.
So
I agree with that.
That's one other thing I'd like to point out.
Okay.
But, you know, all year long, I keep thinking Auburn's going to lose somewhere along the line, and they haven't done it yet.
Until this week.
And Cam Newton keeps them in those games all the time.
Okay, so we're going to move on to number 20, Florida State University, going to play Virginia Tech, who is number 12. Jack, where's this going?
Well, I see this as a tight game, and it may come down to special teams playing this. And if it does, I think you have to give the edge to Virginia Tech on that. They're better at kicking field goals. They're better at returning punts, returning kickoffs, better at covering punt returns. However, this is an ACC game, and as I've said before, there's no rhyme or reason to how games turn out in the ACC. However, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Virginia Tech's going to win this game 27-22. Yeah,
I think each team's going to try to establish the run. But I don't think either one of them are going to be too successful, as these are very stout defenses. So to me, it's who's capable of making a big play. And for me, I think that's going to be Virginia Tech and Tyrod Johnson, their quarterback, who can do it through the air, but he can also do it with his legs. And, you know, you stole some of that thunder there, but special teams, beamer ball, it will also be a difference. I see Virginia Tech in a close one, 23-16.
Wow, 23-16. Okay, I see Virginia Tech also in this game coming out with a win. I think it's a little bit closer, though. It's going to be 24-21. Okay, so we're going to use...
Unanimous.
What's that?
Unanimous.
Unanimous. We're going to move on to UConn, playing Florida. Jack, I want to know what you think.
You know, in a Pac-10, I always think of Oregon as being an opportunistic type of team. You know, they're a plus 11 in turnover margin department. They'll return a punt for a touchdown. They'll pick off a pass, take it in for a touchdown. They win some games like that during the year, usually a couple. You know, in Connecticut, it's kind of in the same mold. They're a plus 11 also in the turnover department. And right now, they're the hottest team in the Big East, with 4 straight wins, including an overtime win over West Virginia. My only concern, though, in picking them is they're 1-4 on the road, and that doesn't bode well. But I'm going to hold my breath, and I'm going to pick the Huskies. And I'm going to pick them 25-24.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. You know, my South Florida comes in with some confidence. They just knocked off Miami last week. But when it's all said and done, offensively, I just don't like South Florida's offense in this. UConn's not a great defense, but they're a scrappy, opportunistic defense, and I think they'll hold South Florida's offense at bay. And offensively for for UConn, you know, they ranked second, or they have their running back is Todman is second in the NCAA in rushing yards. I think they'll be able to run the clock out and have long drives, and I see them winning 28-20.
Wow. See, I think UConn's going to come out pretty strong, and they're really going to give South Florida a run for their money. I see a 24-13.
Okay.
It's going to be a shutout. Okay, so a real big game coming up this weekend that I'm looking forward to watching is the number 13 team, Nebraska, playing the number 10 team, Oklahoma. Jack?
Well, I guess the real question in this game is, can Nebraska limit the damage that Landry Jones can inflict on teams? You know, Jones is like the number 2 passing leader in the Big 12. Lights defense is up, but on the other hand, Nebraska has only given up 12 touchdown passes all year, and they picked off 18. Picked off 18 interceptions. That's an amazing stat. And last year in the matchup, Jones had picked off 5 times. You know, what Nebraska is good at doing is curtailing completion percentages of other teams. You know, as good as Brandon Whedon is for Oklahoma State, he managed only 51% completion level against Nebraska. And Blaine Gabbert, another Big 12 top passer from Missouri, he threw for 18 of 42. Now, you can still get a decent amount of yards, but if you're 18 for 42, you know, that's some 3s and outs. That's what that equates to. And I think Bo Pelini's going to be happy to get those kind of stats. And you know, Nebraska leads this series, goes quite a ways back, 44-38-3, and I think this is going to be one more on the win side for Nebraska. I'm going to go Nebraska 24, Oklahoma 21.
Yeah.
Field goal difference.
This is guy feeling okay? Great. This is going to be a great game. I mean, first of all, just the rivalry in general between these two teams, especially with Nebraska going to the Big Ten. It's sad to see. Hopefully, you know, in the future that they'll play each other. But you know, this is, you know, I look at it as what, you know, for Oklahoma, what can they, you know, Oklahoma is the top rated offense in the Big 12. But they're going against a stout defense, you know, and like you said, another team that they shut out basically in the passing game was Texas A&M as well. So I mean, 3 teams that are high octane passing teams, they shut it out. I don't think they shut Oklahoma out. I think they do kind of curtail that. They do kind of contain it. But I think the biggest problem for Nebraska will be, can they put enough points up on the board? They have definitely been struggling, even with Martinez. Even when he was playing, you know, he's coming back from an injury. Who knows how effective he will be? I don't think they'll score much on an Oklahoma defense. I see this in a lower scoring game, but I do see it in Oklahoma's favor, and I do see it 20-14.
Wow. Yeah, I see Oklahoma coming out of this game for sure. I don't think you're going to see a lot of scoring in this game, but I think you're going to see a lot of pushing and shoving up and down the field, and the score's going to end up 24-21, Oklahoma's favor. Go Sooners. Okay, there you have the national predictions for Week 14. Thanks for checking us out. We want to know what your comments are, so feel free to leave them.
Please leave a comment, good or bad. We're big boys. We'll take it.
Make fun of us.
Yeah, leave a comment if you disagree with a pick or whatnot. Tell us why you disagree with it or why you agree, and we'll have fun. We'll respond back.
All right, thanks again. I'm Donovan.
I'm Joel.
And Jack.
Thanks again. Pac-10 Sports Talk.